Welcome to CryptoChicks Corner, an educational podcast to teach you the basics of blockchain technology and how to harness it to start or expand your own business. CryptoChicks is a nonprofit organization on a mission to grow the professional and leadership potential of women in blockchain and artificial intelligence. I'm your host, Ashley Spradlin, and welcome to our corner. What is cryptocurrency? Before we jump into this one, it's time for the disclaimer. None of this is financial advice, sis. CryptoChicks' mission is to give you the education and tools to empower yourself on your financial journey. We want you to know how to do your own research on what is and isn't a wise investment for your future. We'll provide some context for understanding so you can apply what you've learned to make informed decisions. So, onward and upward. When I mention cryptocurrency to beginners, I usually get a response along the lines of, it's not real money. While it's true that you can't pick up and hold a Bitcoin in your hand like you can a dollar bill, that doesn't mean it's not valuable. I totally understand the confusion and maybe even feelings of intimidation around crypto, so I usually follow up with questions like, what is real money? What's the purpose of currency? How often do you use cash for things? What do those dollars represent? And do you know how much money you have because you count out the dollar bills in your hand or because of the numbers you see on a screen? These questions aren't meant to suggest that cryptocurrency is just like the wad of cash in your wallet or that money isn't real. Instead, it's to get people thinking about how they consider the concepts of value and exchange. Currency has value because of what it represents. It serves people by allowing us to exchange goods and services without having to actually barter with them. It offers us a place to store wealth, and we use it to communicate the value of something. In the United States, for example, our economy began as a bartering system. My neighbor has a bushel of wheat. Well, I've got a few baskets of corn. Let's make a trade. It evolved to a coin-based system where silver and gold were used to signify value in a transaction and became a store of value. And before the Civil War, banks started issuing paper notes as a promise to pay gold or silver. And because of the shift to paper notes and the challenge of gathering and holding enough gold assets to back them, as banks lended money and received deposits, they only held a fraction of the actual gold to back these transactions in their vaults at any given time. Unfortunately, when large numbers of people brought notes to the bank to receive their coin assets, oftentimes the bank did not have enough on hand to honor their notes. Under financial pressure from the Civil War, the U.S. government decided to abandon these gold coin-backed notes and make paper money the new legal tender. Fiat currency, as it is now called, got its start as a medium of exchange backed by the promise of the government. Now, the evolution of fiat currency and the gold standard in the U.S. is a much longer story than we have time for today, but it no longer means we can demand an actual asset like silver or gold in exchange for a note. The value of the U.S. dollar is in the full faith and trust of the government that issued it. So let's hone in on a few key takeaways from the financial system in the United States, one of the largest economic systems in the world. A central federal bank was formed to govern the banking system in the U.S., and this entity, known as the Federal Reserve, or the Fed, is governed by 7 people chosen by the president. Everything money-wise goes through the Fed in the United States, so it's the central point of control and therefore is vulnerable to attack. It has been hacked dozens of times just within my lifetime. The Fed has the right to print as much money as they need, which devalues the currency that's already in circulation. This valuation is governed by the laws of supply and demand. So to put it simply, if there are only $100 in the world and you have one, well, you own 1% of all the dollars in the world. But if there are $1,000 in the world and you have one, now the value of your holdings has decreased to 0.1%, 1/10 of the previous value. So maybe the question isn't, is cryptocurrency valuable? Maybe the question is, how do we determine the value of something? What's the psychology behind the valuation? Is it based on perceived scarcity, utility, transferability? Cryptocurrencies were created to provide a more secure medium of exchange that can be used globally and can have a set amount in circulation for more control over its value. cryptocurrencies are peer-to-peer electronic currencies, meaning they don't require an intermediary like a bank to facilitate an exchange. There are a few ways that cryptocurrency works similarly to the way your debit card works in a traditional bank. For instance, your transactions and balances are recorded on a ledger. You can use an online platform to send and receive funds electronically and to check your balance. The differences are that instead of banks and governments issuing the currency and maintaining the ledgers, in cryptocurrency, an algorithm does it. Everyone has access to the ledger, as we discussed in our last episode. It's public. No one person controls it, as the blockchain is governed by consensus. Because of the structure of a decentralized blockchain and the power of cryptography, cryptocurrency is far more secure. There have not been any hacks, and the resources that would be required to hack the blockchain are incredibly high and nearly impossible to come together. Additionally, cryptocurrency doesn't require an intermediary like a bank to facilitate a transaction. I can send crypto to anyone in the world without the red tape involved with a bank account. That transaction could also happen in minutes or even seconds in crypto versus days in traditional banking. There are no gatekeepers to funds, no barriers to entry for marginalized populations, perhaps besides the learning curve involved in understanding how it all works, which is why we are here. Cryptocurrency circulation is also controlled. For example, there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin mined and in circulation. This promotes a store of value. Each cryptocurrency has its own economic model, often referred to as tokenomics in the Web3 world. But a decentralized project shifts the governance decisions from a few people, like, say, the 7 Fed governors, back to the users, like in a DAO. We'll talk about DAOs more in a future episode, but for now, I think that's enough on why cryptocurrency was created, what it is, and how it is valuable. I want to note that crypto is constantly changing, and the conversation of value, exchange, and this new form of economy is ongoing. So if you feel overwhelmed or like you have questions, that's pretty normal. Feel free to connect with us to ask your questions or otherwise offer your thoughts as we create a new system together. Until next time. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of CryptoChicks Corner. I hope it was helpful. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you're notified when we release new episodes to build on what you just learned. We would love for you to take a moment to rate and review the show to help us serve more entrepreneurs. And remember that anyone can join our CryptoChicks Academy to take courses from experts in the field, and our hatchery can help you transform your business idea into a well-funded startup. Check out our show notes to get started, and we look forward to seeing you shine. This podcast wouldn't be possible without the support of our incredible sponsors. Women of Crypto is an NFT avatar collection that's the first of its kind, 3D rendered, and meant to represent the diversity and beauty of every single woman in the world. Their efforts are invested to bridge the gender gap and inspire and invigorate more women to participate in the world of crypto. Women of Crypto is a Metatora project, and we're so proud to partner with them. We also want to thank Metis. Metis is an Ethereum Layer 2 optimistic rollup platform to help you launch into the Web3 economy. Their platform harnesses the security and decentralization strengths of the Ethereum network with the added benefit of fast, low-cost transactions, native storage, and a user-friendly interface to make deploying your project simple and stress-free. Whether you're expanding projects in decentralized finance, NFTs, gaming, community, or you want to take your Web2 business to the next level, Metis is the platform for you.